I guess that's part of it. We are given these people, but they're not ours. They are His to begin with. And we have the privilege of hanging out with them and doing life with them for as long as He gives us. Scripture says that, our days are numbered. We don't know what that end date is, and I wouldn't want to know. But, we just loved being together. That was just all there was to it. Hi, my name is Shirley. How are you? Some people know I was born and raised in California, and we moved here the summer before my senior year and had to go to Hendersonville High School and join all the people that had known each other since kindergarten. And, but that was a little different, but it was not quite the same as a California school, but we had a great time. Then I went to college, UT Martin, and studied music, and decided that was not my career path, so I came home. And I was a member at that time of First Baptist Hendersonville, and worked with the youth, with the children's choir, with all kinds of different people, and just had a great time ministering with them. And there was a girl in Hendersonville that cut my hair, and she went to church, and I was living in Hendersonville, and she went to church at this little church up here in White House. And so she asked if she could give my phone number to this man that went to her church, and his name was Dale. I'm like, well, sure, that's fine. And she said, "What can I give him your sister's number too?" I said, "Yeah, that's fine." We both lived in Hendersonville at separate apartments, but the same complex. And she told Dale that I was the churchy one and Sharon was the fun one. Well, he actually came to the Bible study that I had in my home for the college kids, and of course my sister wasn't there. Now, she was a believer, but she just didn't attend some of that stuff. So we met, and I was making chocolate chip cookies, and it smelled really good when he came in. And before he left, I hugged everybody at the end of the Bible study because I wanted to hug him. So that was fun, and that's how we met. And he was living up here in White House, and I thought, I'm going to save him from the little town of White House, and he sucked me in for the last 35 years.
Oh, that's awesome. So yeah. Dale, he got you and your sister's phone number, huh?
He did.
That's awesome.
We always said, I would say, the pastor would say, do you take Shirley and her sister Sharon? But,
awesome. How did you feel about how the small town of White House? Did you think it was too small? Did you want to go to a bigger city? Or?
Of course I did. We had one flashing yellow light. We had Hardee's and Dairy Queen. That was it. No McDonald's, no Kroger, no Walmart, nothing. But it was a sweet town, and, we became involved in the church, and we would serve at the basketball games, and we did the concession stand, and, we just did all the fun stuff and became part of the community, and we loved it. When we first got married, we didn't have any money, so we didn't do anything. We just served. We cooked a men's prayer breakfast that he and I and some other people helped with. And now then later on, after our son came in 93, then a few times we had a little bit more money as time went on. Thank you, Jesus. And Dale Hollow was his favorite place to go. But then he married a Disney girl, so I got him there too. So yeah, he had a real heart for the homeless. And the very first Bible study that we ever, that I said he came to, he shared his heart for that. And just throughout our whole marriage, And then when he was in college, he had started, they had started a thing, I'm not sure the name of it, but it evolved into Christmas for the Children. And he and two other men started that up here in White House that has still been going on for, I guess, 20 years now. Mm. And, now they take kids to Walmart and help them shop, and they get a gift card. And so that was a big ministry that he was involved in and cared about.
Wow. And how does it feel to have him start something like that and for it to continue on?
Yes.
And for him to leave that legacy? What does that feel like?
It's wonderful. It's wonderful. And of course, he was a big man, and he would always play Santa at Christmas for the children. So the kids all would, tell him what they wanted, and they all got a picture with Santa. So that was really fun to see that, continue on from just an early college thing into something that, still happens today. They have a golf outing to raise money and different things, and yeah, it's an amazing ministry. And his story, he didn't grow up in church, and his family was in the music business. His grandfather was married to Tootsie, that owns Tootsie's Orchid Lounge, and so he started that with her, and they were always at the Opry, at the backstage of the Opry, and he was not a believer. And then he became a bartender in several of the places up in Clarksville where he was in school. And one day a guy came in and said, "How does it make you feel to be making your living off the misery of others?" And he never saw the guy again. He really truly believes it was an angel sent from God that just, turned him around, and he got saved, and I would say radically saved, and, his life was never the same since after that. And we didn't get married until we were in our 30s, and, sometimes you wonder, oh, are you ever going to get married? But I always said that God was preparing him for me, and it was true. He had to go through a lot of stuff to get to be prepared. So I got everything that I ever wanted. I got a bad boy and a good boy. So that was really fun because, he was, oh my goodness, he was so much fun.
That's awesome.
I mean, well, I won't tell that story. He loved to make me laugh to the point where I had to run.
I wouldn't mind hearing that story. That sounds like
well, no, it was just that he liked to make me laugh to the point I had to pee, so I had to run to the bathroom immediately.
Oh, that's awesome. I love it. Do you need to put those in the oven or something?
Yes, I do. Okay. He passed away 3 years ago, and probably about 10 years before that, he was working downtown in Nashville, and he came home one day and he said, "The car in front of me disappeared." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And it was his vision. He was losing the central vision. He could see peripherally, but things that were going right in front of him, they were disappearing. And so it wasn't too long after that he had to give up that job. And it was difficult times because nobody wants to hire somebody that can't see. And so fortunately was still working at Lifeway, and God was blessing us through that. But at the same time, there were those concerns of what's the future going to look like, and will we be able to go to Dale Hollow anymore, or we'll be able to do this or that or whatever, and then it progressed. Then he couldn't drive anymore, and he was sad about that. He'd say, "I'm so sorry, I can't do this stuff," and for a man that was a manager of probably 30 men at this place that repaired restaurant equipment, to go from that to someone that couldn't see, and then the mind started going, and so he couldn't do anything. And he was never upset about it because God blessed him with a good attitude and a good spirit, and I don't even know if he knew what all was going on, but it was sad just to see him deteriorate and not be able to do what he wanted to do, and go fishing or go to anywhere on his own. And I'd haul him everywhere I was going, and we'd get in the car. He goes, "Where are we going?" And he didn't care. He was very easygoing, and he just went everywhere I went. So and then God took him, and then it's been a little quiet around here since then.
It seems like with all the stuff that you had to care for with Dale and the position that you are in, you've had to do a lot. You've had to do a lot within the past, 10 years.
Yes.
And you've been able to make such an impact on people's lives. What is it like to have God sustain? Do you feel like God is sustaining you in any way that if it weren't for him, I wouldn't be able to do any of this?
In every way. I mean, there's no way I could do this. I don't understand how people can, go through difficult situations without Christ as their rock, and, there were many times where I, cried out, the normal things like, why us? We're serving you. Why is this happening to us? And, God just kind of used it to further his kingdom, I believe, because I have a sister-in-law that I'm not sure exactly where her faith lies, but, she many times would ask, how are you doing this? And how can you do this? And, with a smile on your face for the most part. And I would just look at her and say, Jesus. He's been there for me and, always will be. He gave me Jesus, and I guess that's part of it. We are given these people, but they're not ours. They are his to begin with. And we have the privilege of hanging out with them and doing life with them for as long as he gives us. Scripture says that, our days are numbered. We don't know what that end date is, and I wouldn't want to know, but we just loved being together. That was just all there was to it, and hopefully, if someone saw it. And since that time, I did go to Grief Share, and now I'm a leader in Grief Share, and it's a 13-week class, and it's not that you're finished grieving after 13 weeks, but we see such a difference in the number of Kleenexes that we hand out from week 1 to week 13. By week 13, well, even in the middle of it, there starts to be some laughter. And you realize that the healing process has started. It's never over. I mean, it's Thanksgiving's going to come, and, Dale won't be here, and, he won't be here to help with the tree and, do all this stuff. And it just, it's always different. Halloween was always a big thing around our house, and we always had a movie on the garage door, and I've tried to keep up that tradition, and, people would come, and, we'd just sit out in the driveway, and I had one little guy come to this year that was probably 15 or something. He goes, I remember coming here when I was just a little kid, and they just have great memories of that because Dale wanted to reach people. We put a little tiny Bible in all of their, usually we had a cup or a bag with candy in it, but it had a little tiny New Testament, just a little paperback thing, and we would throw those in there, and, we don't know, who read them or if they threw them away, but, we did what we could to minister to how many times does, 100, 200 kids come to your house? I mean, what a ministry that is. I mean, we were blessed to have a nice corner house, and people came, and, we fed our friends, and it's been great to do stuff like that.
Favorite or most memorable?
We were at Disney, and we had reserved the Cinderella's Castle breakfast. So we didn't want to be late. So we get to Disney, to the Magic Kingdom at like 7 a.m. There is no one there except us in this little area. My dad and my mom and dad were there, and my sister. My dad was talking to the cleaning people because that's what he did. He just wouldn't talk to random people. And Dale was talking about being at Cinderella's castle to get huevos before things opened up. And I mean, it was just, he just made us laugh all the time. I guess the laughter is the part that that's missing, because there's nobody to laugh with when you're at home. As a part of Grief Share, there's so many things that the relationships that you have with your family is going to change. You're going to have the people that are going to disappear because you were a couple and all of a sudden you're not, and now they don't know what to do with you. But then there's going to be people who are going to show up that you at least expected them to be part of your grief process, and they're going to show up and be a help. Another thing that happens is people, it might be a year down the road and they're going, are you not over that yet? And they want to rush the grief process, and you cannot rush it. Everybody has their own story, their own timeline, and just, a place. We encourage people to journal, to write down, what they're feeling. Another thing is, just to be present with the people. And like with holidays coming up, we have a thing called Hope for the Holidays. And, things are going to look different. And you just have to make a plan to, make a new tradition. Honor the past and honor what you did with your loved ones, but, maybe make something new, make a new casserole dish, or, do something that's going to, make something special. You can continue to have a plate, for them at the table, or you might decide, hey, let's not even eat at home. We're going to go to Cracker Barrel and just do something completely different. Holidays and the first things that come up are always difficult. We've had people that, their families just literally dropped them. And so, they just had to find other people to do things with. And it's just sad. And, no one expects to go through this, but at the same time, our vows say, for better or for worse, in sickness and in health, till death do us part. And that is the one sure thing in life, is that we're going to die. And we just need to make sure that, we live the best way that we can with our spouse, and forget the don't sweat the small stuff, and just enjoy them.
That is a lighthouse of hope for marriages like mine, too.
Oh, yeah.
I just want to thank you for demonstrating that, because it's a lost art to stay together now in the world. So thank you.
Yeah, he passed the day after our 31st anniversary. If Dale were here, if he had a moment to come back and speak a word to people that he knew or that he didn't know, he would tell them, find Jesus early, love him, serve him, minister to those in need. Because that was his greatest desire, was to take care of people. I found out at his funeral that, there were many people that he gave checks to that, I didn't necessarily know about, which was okay, because he saw the need and he had to take care of it, because that was just the way he was.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed that video, first of all, thank you so much for watching. And second of all, we wanted to share with you guys a little bit of the heart behind and the story that brought these widow washing videos to life. So Josiah, why don't you share a little bit about why we do that?
Yeah, so it all kind of started about 2 years ago when I showed up to this family's home that we had washed several times before in the past. And I showed up to the same house to wash her home. And usually I dealt with the husband before, but this time it was just her, and we walked around the property. And she said, don't worry about cleaning the handicap ramp. My husband died about 3 months ago, and we will no longer be needing it. And in that moment, I just felt this weight, this burden of the situation. It was almost like I was taking on her burdens in a way. And I really didn't know what to do with it. So I just kind of started washing the home, and just like a movie, it starts to pour on me. It's raining. I'm crying because I feel like God is speaking to me and really saying, hey, I want you to take care of this widow, and I want you to wash her home for free. And so we decided to do that, go back up to the door, knock on the door, and she comes out with the exact dollar amount to the penny in her hands to pay for this house wash. I think it was around $200. And I said, don't worry, today it's on us, and we're going to take care of you. And you could just see the burden being lifted off of her. She ends up crying, and she gives me one of those long, tight hugs that last a little bit longer than normal. And so that was kind of the start, and it really was life-changing.
It's so good. And I remember getting a phone call the following weekend, and Josiah, this young man, says, hey, Joshua, I've got a baby chick. Don't step on it, which basically means I have an idea. Don't squash it. Let's give it a little bit of time to grow before you kill it. And so he shares the story. And immediately when he shares the story, I like the story, but I said businesses will go out of business trying to wash every widow's house in Nashville for free, because that's what you came to the conclusion. Is literally, he said, I can do this for the rest of my life. And became like a mission. And I took that very serious. And so I finished up a run, and then I ended up calling Josiah back. And the thought that Andy Stanley said, do for one what you wish you could do for everyone, was the overarching theme and thought in my head. And so I called Josiah back and said, just because we can't do it for everyone doesn't mean we can't do it for one a week. And that began the journey of widow washing. And now we've had the opportunity to meet a bunch of widows here in Nashville. And now we're on a mission. We have spent a lot of money on Monday Night Football and a lot of effort in washing widows' homes here in Nashville for free. But we cannot do it alone. And this is where you come in hand. We need support. We need financial donors that would say, hey, for $300, I'll make a donation to help take widows' names off of our list. And so if you'd like to donate, go to brownspressurewashing.com, click on Widow Wash. We also need more widows to be on our list to be taken care of. As people donate, we want to continue to help wash widows' homes. And then you can also sponsor. So if you have a widow inside of your life and you just want to take care of them, you can call our office. It's on our website, brownspressurewashing.com, and just say, hey, I don't want Mrs. Jones to know, but whatever her needs are when it comes to pressure washing, I want to take care of it. And that is where you can partner with us in making an impact while making an income. So we want to put these out as an offering and as an opportunity for us to serve and for you to play a part in what we're doing. And so let's see what we can do together as we try to wash every widow's house in Nashville for free. Take care.